Okay, this is Charles Carroll, the option trader's assistant, and today I'm going to talk about moving in and looking around, getting started with the option trader's assistant. So the first thing you'll see when you sign up for the option trader's assistant after your first login, you'll come to this brokerage authorization page. And the option trader's assistant needs to get its data from somewhere. And of course, if you're connected to one of our supported brokers, you'll also be putting your trades in and we'll be tracking your orders, and tracking the status. So these are our supported brokers: Schwab, Tasty Trade, and Tradier. And if you want to use the option trader's assistant without a supported broker, we also have now, it's actually no longer coming soon. I have to get that off of there. It's DXFeed as an alternative data source. And you would pick your broker. These all say okay because I've already authorized them, but it'll say add, and you click the button next to your broker and add button. I'll show you what it looks like. If you do it, it'll come here to a page like this, and you click sign in, and that will take you to your broker's page. Or there's a different process for each broker, but it essentially is you log in, give your login credentials for the broker, and authorize them to connect with OTA. And in the background, we'll be trading some tokens and things that make for a nice secure connection between OTA and your broker. And that allows us to get the quotes and order status and all that sort of information. And as it says here, it's a secure connection. You cannot move money in or out of your accounts other than placing orders for options and stocks with the option trader's assistant. So just be aware that there's no concern that your money could leave your account in any way through this connection. And once you have authorized your broker, the next step is to come in here on the menu and check your profile. Be sure your name and contact information are correct. The phone numbers do need to have a country code now. So in the US, that's +1. And in other countries, there are other codes. And setting up for alerts is a key important thing here on the profile page. We now have 3 different ways of delivering alerts. Actually, there's 4. I'll get into the 4th one. And the instructions for each one are down here. You can click the little arrow here to open up the instructions. And the key thing is to put your email address and then your destinations for alerts, and be sure those are correct. And if it's going to be a phone number to get text alerts, you can see how it goes here: +1 plus the area code plus the number. And you can have multiple numbers or addresses here. So if you want to get both email and text alerts, you can put the email address, comma, and the phone number for the texting for your mobile phone. So that's text directly to your phone, email to whatever email address you put in. The third mechanism is the web push. And web push is a separate thing in which you can sign up to have email alerts web push alerts. They can be delivered to your phone as well sometimes. The support is a little less universal for that, or to your browser on your computer even. And there are instructions on that. I won't go into that now, but the instructions here talk about it, and there's a whole separate page here under notifications to set that up. And the 4th way alerts appear actually is also on the screen on the dashboard. They will appear as little blocks, colored blocks like this on the dashboard of the application. And after you've set up your alerts destinations here, oops, and saved them, then we've got a test button here. And you see that you can send a test email or a test alert here to see if it's working correctly. And if it's not, you can adjust it and not be mystified as to whether you're getting alerts correctly or not. There's a test button right here. And as I said, it will insist that you have both the number and the country code for the phone numbers. The next stop is the preferences. Now I'm going to go into detail about all these preferences. These are different things that you can set up. The first thing is show annotations on graph. And the annotations are the little blocks of text that appear on the graphs, the P&L graphs. And they show the Greeks and the legs of the trade and the original cost to get into the trade, some things like that. It can be very helpful to have that information right there, always visible. On the other hand, it can be considered to be cluttering up the graph. So we let you turn that on and off. It's on as your choice. The target lines on the graph also is something that some people like to see, and sometimes if you don't really use specific targets, but you just manage by your own knowledge. The target line is the green line for your profit target and the red line for your stop loss that is calculated automatically if it's in your plan when the trade is opened. And you can change it during the course of the trade. And this option will allow you to either have them appear or not appear on your graph. Snap to Friday expirations will cause the trade maker to automatically only look at Friday expirations rather than the other weekday expirations for options that are available on other days of the week. This is something that is preferred sometimes because of the liquidity. On the Fridays, there is sometimes a lot more liquidity. And as time passes, that's changing, that they're getting to be a lot of trading in the other days of the week as well, but that's what that's for. The flat trade display refers to the display on the dashboard and on the streaming portfolio monitor. And I will show you the dashboard. Regular a drop-down trade display looks like this, and you click on the little arrow here and you get a full bit of information. The flat trade display, instead of having a drop-down that you have to click on each one, all the information that you're going to get is right here, always visible. Now, it takes up a little more space on the screen, but the information is always there and you don't have to click on anything, and you don't get quite as much information here, but that's what that means. Automatic snapshots, we have a feature, and this is not available in all the plans, but if it is available, this is the option for it. You have to turn it on to automatically take a snapshot of your trade just before the opening order is filled, just after the opening order is filled, and before and after every adjustment, and just before the order for closing is filled. And you also can take a snapshot once a day, perhaps at the end of the day or whatever time you would like, to kind of record the progress of the trade. If this is unchecked, then we don't take the automatic snapshots. The profit and loss or capital basis, that's when we show you a percent gain or loss on your trade, it's based on the dollar profit divided by the capital basis. And that can be any of these choices here: the original buying power effect, or the margin requirement, or the current, which includes after adjusting up or down, or the peak, which means the highest it's ever been during the life of the trade with many adjustments. And what you're setting here on the preferences page is the default capital basis that will be used on any new trade. And each trade, you can set each trade individually, but this sets the one that will be set by default for every new trade if you don't change it. And the same for the risk margin basis here. It can be peak, current, or original, and that is the default for new trades. And you can change each one separately as well as you want to. Next, you have the quote provider and a streaming quote provider. And when we do the look around in a few minutes, I'll explain the difference there, but you can set them separately. And that can be any of your brokers or DXFeed, whatever you have signed up for or connected or subscribed to. And anywhere you see a little question mark like this, you can click on it and it gives you a little more detail about what you're looking at. The trade nav is a set of buttons on top of the trade analysis page that lets you page back and forth through your trades. And we have checkboxes here that allow you to include live trades, paper trades, and proposed trades separately. So if you want to be able to page through only your live trades and not have to see the proposed trades or paper trades, you can click them off or on here and in any combination you like. Account set by opening order means that for a proposed trade, when you enter an order to open that trade, even though the order hasn't filled yet, we will allocate that proposed trade to that account, and on the dashboard and the portfolio monitors, that trade will appear on the tab for that particular account rather than under the proposed tab. If you have this unchecked the way I have, then any proposed trade is still considered in the proposed category until it's actually filled, and then it goes into the account for which the order was filled. The high performance dashboard, later on, I'll show you the difference between the original dashboard and the high performance dashboard. High performance dashboard is very nice, and I use it even though I don't have lots of trades. We designed it especially for those of our members that are trading lots and lots of trades, even more than 100 trades at a time. And the high performance dashboard splits them up a little bit and allows the screen to load a lot faster when it's dealing with that many trades at a time. So you can turn that on or off. And set trade alerts automatically. The software, as soon as a trade is opened, the opening order is filled, it will set alerts for the adjustment points and the stop loss automatically. And we've got some members that really don't bother with the alerts. They don't bother with setting the adjustment points. They manage the trades themselves. They're very experienced. And you can turn off the automatic alerts if you want to with this button. And any changes you make here, be sure and click the Save button. Now, the next thing is very important to fill in your watch list. This is where you add the symbols that you trade. There's a description up here, and you just put it's right down here. You add whatever symbol you want to add and click the Add button. It'll add it to your list, and any that you're not trading anymore, you can click the Delete button to get it off of your list. Just that easily, click, and away it goes. This controls what will show on the drop-down list for vehicles on both the modeling matrix and, well, actually anywhere we have a drop-down list for vehicles that you trade. So you can enter as many as you want here, and part of why we need to know this is to be able to keep track of what the strikes are, what the option chains are for those particular underlyings in our database. So once you've set all those things up, you're ready to start trading. Now I'm going to give you a little overview here of the way this software works. The menu at the top here, we've got a couple of buttons. These first three buttons take you directly to what they say, the dashboard or the streaming portfolio monitor or the graphs. These others have a little arrow here so that when you click on it, you get a further choice. And then there's a little arrow here that gives you even more choice over there. So each time you have one of these little arrows, it means you've got somewhere else to choose. Now, let me show you. I'm going to go back here actually and go to the original dashboard. And so the dashboard is the summary of what your whole situation is. It has the accounts as a drop-down list here that you can click, and it'll give you information about the balances and buying power in your accounts. There's a little summary here of your performance, month-to-date performance in your live trades and your paper trades. We have a separate mechanism for keeping paper trades that is not connected to the Thinkorswim paper trades. This is our own paper trading mechanism. And you can click on the little magnifying glass here and it'll take you to a list of all of the trades that are involved in that. Then you'll have sections here for live trading and paper trading. Right now I only have a couple live trades on. And your open orders are in this, and I don't have any open orders right now. On my live trades, here are the two live trades that are here for the demonstration. This is the compound delta gamma, all the Greeks, combined for all the live trades. And then each trade, you can, as I showed before, you click it and you can get the current price quote of the underlying and whether it's up or down in dollars, percent, and standard deviations based on the closest option in the spread. Then it has the Greeks for the trade, the account that it's in, the number of contracts it was, and then when it was opened and when it expires. Now this expiration date is like the closest. If it's a calendar spread, this will be the closer option. That is when the trade is considered to expire. You see it's got the number of days in trade and the number of days to expiration. Then the margin of the trade and its assumed strategy. And then what it originally costs and what the current price is, and commissions are calculated. I will get into the commissions in a later video. And then down below the trades are the trading plans. And you can look at the today. If you set a plan to be regularly traded on a particular day of the week, then it'll show you today. This gives you a quick way of getting to that. And anything that was yesterday delayed one day, you can look at that as well, or you just go to all. And there are your trading plans. We'll be talking more about trading plans in another video. You click the new button here to create a new plan. Now the high performance dashboard is similar, but I will go and set that up. You'll see all those things showed up right away. And on the high performance dashboard, see it comes up quicker. And the high performance dashboard has the trades in a tabbed interface here so that you really can set this to see only the trades in a particular account at a time. And that way it can speed up the loading. Got a lot of accounts here for this. And also the accounts only loads when you look at it, and the month-to-date performance, you see it only loads it when you look at it. So it's saving time on the initial loading of the screen. This little button here will refresh the calculations at any time you need to. And it has the trading plans in the same way down here at the bottom. And I'll just show you real quickly. If you go to the plus sign on this, it gets you to the portfolio performance report, and then there's a list of trades, and we'll get into the reporting in more detail in the future. So I want to point out that this menu bar here is black, and that is for a regular dynamic website that updates every 5 minutes. If you click into the graphs page, the graphs is our streaming graphical portfolio monitor, and you notice the menu bar changed to green. Anytime you see a green menu bar, you're getting streaming quotes, and the status of the streaming quotes is down here at the bottom on the status line. And here it says succeeded for Schwab. And what happens on the streaming quotes, they're updated every few seconds. And you may or may not be able to see these numbers are flashing every few seconds with the streaming updates live real time. The quotes on the other pages are real time, but they're not updated anywhere near as often. And even some of the pages don't update, or they don't need to update at all. So that's the difference. The green bar are the streaming quotes. And you see here the graphs page is very popular. You have all of your trades, a graph of their profit and loss all in one place. And their green border means it's profitable. A yellow border, the border turns yellow if it's gone negative, the P&L's gone negative, and it turns red if you have hit your stop loss. So at a glance, you can look at your entire portfolio here and see what the situation is. And we will be getting into detail a little later, but there's tabs here for each of your accounts, and there's even a custom tab that lets you select based on your own criteria what should appear on that tab. And there's a sort mechanism that lets you sort in different orders so that the ones that need your attention are on the top. And similarly, you can go to the streaming modeling matrix here, which gives you a option chain, and all of the quotes in this chain, as well as the graph, are updated in seconds, every few seconds with the streaming quotes and the underlying as well. The modeling matrix, you can move the bars in and out. You just grab it when it turns to a little pointer like that. You can move these up and down. This is the calls, which means the puts are hidden, but you just grab the bar here and pull it up and the puts are here. And you can move this one back and forth to make the graph bigger or smaller as well. There's also a little information icon here that gives you more of the detail about the trade when you click on that, and you can close that. And anytime you see this little icon here, matter of fact, anytime you see these icons, sometimes you have to point to them to make them be a button. This little icon looks like mountains is what takes you back to the trade analysis page. And the trade analysis page here has several tabs that get you different information and actions that you can take. And the toolbar at the top consolidates all the actions that you can take without having to click into a tab to get to it. So there's the orders tab here that gives you these buttons, but you also can put orders in from the shopping cart icon up here. And you can go to the modify adjustment tab here to deal with adjustments, and also these little buttons up here. The wrench signifies adjustments, and these are the scale up and scale down buttons here. And again, I'll get into more detail about how all this works in a future video. The details tab on the trade analysis screen has got a lot of details about the trade, including the margin and the cost and how it was calculated. The opening and expires is also available here. The initial cost to open the trade is here, and then the current bid, mid, and ask of the trade as a whole. And break-even points, this particular trade, I'm in a nice position here that it's in guaranteed profit land. So there is no break-even, there is no loss possible on it. But if there were break-evens, they would be calculated and displayed here. And the profit target and the stop loss are calculated in percent. The percent is what is specified, and so it calculates what the dollar amount would be for the profit or the loss, and then it specifies what the price for the spread would be, which is the price you'd put your order in for here. And anywhere you see a little icon like this, you can click on that and you get a pop-up to make some changes to edit. And here I can change the way the profit targets are calculated. And here it has an adjustment point, and also I can click on this to change where my adjustment points are and how they're specified. And then down here, we've got an indication of the IV skew between the shorts and the longs, or in this case, well, it's shorts and longs here still. And we calculate these ratios, theta to delta, theta to vega, and theta to capital, which are how efficiently, if you're doing theta trading, how efficiently your capital is being used, really. And then for directional trades, we can also look at delta to capital and the leverage ratio. And again, you can click on these little question marks to get a more elaborate description of what it is and how it works. And finally, the sharing code is down here. And click this little button to copy the sharing code to your clipboard. And the little question mark here describes how the sharing codes work. It's a way to copy a trade. If you want to trade in same trade in different accounts, you can use that. Or if you want to send the trade to somebody else, the sharing code, another member of OTA, of course, is a way that they can then duplicate that trade in their own account. The legs gives you all of the legs of the trade, and each of those you can click open to get the detail. All the times when you see these little arrows and these bars, you can click them to open and get more detail about whatever it is. And similarly, the magnifying glass. This is a transaction history of each of the orders that was filled. And the magnifying glass gives you the details of each of the legs of the trade. And here are the orders themselves. And again, a little arrow, you can get details on the order and when it was filled and what price. The alerts are here, and you can click on one to get more details of the alert. And it lists the automatic downside, upside adjustment points and the stop loss alerts. modify, adjust. I'll get into adjustments in a future video, but that's what's on this tab. And the journal is your, for the moment, an open sheet of paper in which you write down whatever you want to record about the trade, and this is carried along with this particular trade for the life of the trade and on into the history. Any changes you make, you click the Save button here, and that goes into the journal. The trade nav is up here at the top. These little arrows will step you through forward and backward through the list of trades, or you can click on the center button here and jump to a list. Sorry, I only have two, so it's not that big a deal, but if you had a whole list of trades, you could jump to one or the other or back and forth between them. And up here is to go to the modeling matrix to create a new trade, or trade design assistance here to create a trade that way. And again, we'll get to those in a future video. That's about what I wanted to show you here on getting started on the Option Trader's Assistant. So tomorrow I will get into putting your first trade on and all the details about how the modeling matrix works and how to use it. Now, what questions do we have? Can you trade futures using OTA? No. The answer is no. We do not support futures or futures options. That's it then. Thank you, everybody. See you then.